Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to Muslim Playlist. Our channel is dedicated to sharing inspiring stories of those who have embraced Islam, discussing current topics relevant to the Muslim community, and exploring the many facets of life as a Muslim. Whether you're a new convert, a born Muslim, or simply interested in learning more about Islam, we invite you to join us on this journey of discovery and growth. With engaging discussions and thought-provoking content, we hope to foster a sense of community and connection among Muslims around the world. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of Muslim Playlist. Welcome to our video on the splitting of the moon, a miraculous event mentioned in the Quran. In this video, we will explore the scientific and spiritual aspects of this amazing event, and how it has impacted the world of astronomy and religion. So let's get started. Scientific aspects. The splitting of the moon is a phenomenon that occurred during the time of Prophet Muhammad, in which the moon is said to have split into two pieces and then reunited. This event is mentioned in several verses of the Quran, including Surah Al-Qamar, which says, "The hour has come near, and the moon has split. And if they see a miracle, they turn away and say, 'Passing magic.'" Many people argue that this event was a miracle that can't be explained scientifically. However, some scholars and scientists have tried to explain it using their knowledge of astronomy and physics. One theory suggests that the event was caused by a meteorite impact that caused the moon to split. Another theory suggests that the event was caused by a lunar eclipse that made the moon appear to split in two. However, either of these theories has been proven conclusively. Spiritual aspects. From a spiritual perspective, the splitting of the moon is a powerful reminder of Allah's infinite power and ability to perform miracles. It was a sign of Prophet Muhammad's prophethood, and a way for people to see the truth of Islam. Many people who witnessed the event became Muslims after seeing this miraculous sign.
اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر وإن يروا آية يعرضوا ويقولوا سحر مستمر.
A newly published study using images from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter revealed tantalizing hints that the moon has slightly shrunk in the recent geologic past, and in fact may still be actively shrinking today. The research, led by Dr. Tom Waters from the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, involved searching thousands of lunar images for specific fault structures called lobate scarps.
We know the moon is shrinking by looking at the lobate scarps in detail. They actually reflect the crustal materials of the moon being pushed together, breaking, and being thrust over one another. So that indicates that something has been causing the moon to actually contract or shrink.
Finding that the lobate scarps are globally distributed indicates that contraction of the lunar surface is happening on a global scale, and this is critical knowledge to understand the geologic history of the moon. The next steps in this research will be to more accurately assess the age of these scarps, to help determine how geologically active the moon might still be today.
What's exciting about these findings for me is that the moon is not a dead body. It's not an object where everything that happened on the moon happened billions of years ago. These scarps could be younger than a billion years. They could be, in fact, as young as a couple of 100 million years old, or they could be even younger than that. And that means, in geologic terms, the moon is active.
Now, as a Muslim, we believe in this, as we believe in some great miracles of other prophets like Jesus, peace be upon him, and Moses splitting the ocean and so on. And what is the evidence as a Muslim is the verses from the Quran in Surah Qamar.
اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر وإن يروا آية يعرضوا ويقولوا سحر مستمر.
First two ayat, these two verses clearly state that this happened. Now some people, they say, oh, this didn't happen, this will happen closer to the day of judgment and so on, but that is incorrect. As you can see on your screen, the great scholar of Islam, Ibn Kathir, in his tafsir, in explanation, he wrote that this happened during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as has been mentioned in the Quran and also in ahadith mutawatira, in numerous narrations with authentic asanid that are sahiha, authentic chains of narrators, as has been authentically reported from Ibn Mas'ud, and he mentions the narration, and he says that this is something that has been agreed upon by the scholars of Islam, that the moon was split during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and this was from the great miracle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So from the Quran itself, from the mutawatir sahih ahadith, and from the agreement of the scholars of Islam, we know this happened. But what about the skeptic? What about the atheist? What about the agnostic? What about somebody who says that this is an extraordinary event, and this type of a claim that is an extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence? Okay, so this video is really for them. Let's talk about where did the moon come from. As you see, the moon that we see in front of us, at night, out, bright, where are the origins of the moon? So there are some theories, and NASA and all these organizations that go out and they research, they have no eyewitness accounts. But one of the theories is that there was a giant impact. This hypothesis has been put forward that a Mars-sized planet called Theia crashed into the Earth, and what you will see is a picture of an artist's imagination, renderation of what it might have looked like. Obviously, we have no video. We don't have a Twitter-approved YouTube video to post of it. But NASA and others have said that there was a giant impact that hit the Earth, and debris from the Earth came out from this impact and formed over long periods of time, mostly about 4.5 billion years ago, and it formed into the moon that we have today. Okay. Now, this is an extraordinary claim as well, without any actual evidence. What are some of the indications that this may have happened? Well, they said, well, the moon has an orbit kind of like the Earth and its core and this, and they found many traces, even though we have no such crater that we can point to on Earth that where this impact happened and so on. But they found traces on the moon and things, and they deduced this, and this is taught to us in university classes and in high schools and so on. Even though we have no eyewitness account, we have no actual physical evidence and so on. Things like this are accepted with certain evidences, even if they are not something that we can play on a video on our computer screens, right? For example, in history we're told about the 7 wonders of the ancient world, 7 marvelous, extraordinary wonders that were there in the ancient world. One of them is still standing, and that's the pyramids in Giza. So that one we can go look at, no doubt. But the other 6 we have no actual evidence for. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, for example, which would be in current day Turkey. But in reality, there's no physical evidence of them at all. So why do we teach them in history? Why do we accept them? Because we do have some oral traditions. We don't have any written first-hand reports of them. We have no physical evidence of them. But based on many oral traditions, most historians would agree that they did exist. The temple of Artemis, the statue of Zeus in Olympia, Greece. Again, none of that stands today. We have no first-hand eyewitness accounts, but from oral traditions about having seen these places, we believe they existed. The lighthouse of Alexandria, something insane. Look at the pictures that you have. And these are all artist renditions because we don't have any actual pictures. We didn't have cell phones or Canon cameras to go out and take pictures of them. But based on oral traditions, we do believe that these extraordinary structures existed. The famous Colosseum, the Colossus of Rhodes, all of these extraordinary historic accounts have no eyewitness. So, having said that, we would deduce that even oral traditions are accepted to believe in some very extraordinary claims. But the splitting of the moon is no doubt more amazing. It's something amazing. It's something that is not like a huge building or something like this. So we would want some really extraordinary proof. And no doubt, the splitting and uniting of the moon in a single night is something amazing, something that is very extraordinary, something that it's not a naturally occurring event. We as Muslims are not claiming that this was some kind of a natural event, that, you know, some asteroid just came and hit the moon. No, this was a miracle. This was a sign from the creator of the universe that this man, Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a true prophet of God. So, is it even scientifically possible? That's the first question that we're going to address tonight. Is it scientifically possible that a moon can merge, break or merge, and then become one moon? Can it even happen? Well, according to NASA, and I'm putting a link to NASA's website, many of these pictures that are being shown are from NASA themselves. They're not doctored, they're not edited, they're not photoshopped. These are NASA pictures. Now, I am not claiming that NASA is in agreement with a lot of these things. What I am showing is what their research showed, and you can look at it on their website. So NASA sent a rover to Saturn, Cassini, and spent 20 years. It was sent out in 1997. The pictures that you're looking at are from that rover, that it went out to look at the moons of Saturn and look at Saturn itself, and spent 20 years in space. And in 2017, it crashed onto the surface of Saturn and it's destroyed. But those images we still have. So let's look at some of these images of Lepidus. Lepidus is one of the moons of Saturn. And if you look at it, you see this ridge that NASA has shown. This is a mystery. They wondered, why is there such a ridge, as you can see in the picture, that goes all the way across that moon? And why is it that the surface is so different on different sides? Well, according to NASA, one of the accepted theories is that this was an impact, two moons, or a body that separated at a certain time, crashed in, and as you can see an artist's rendering of it, to make the moon today. And after scanning the surface, this is what they have come up with, that two separate bodies came together and today it's one moon. So can you say, is it possible? No doubt it's possible. But that is not our moon, right? That is something in Saturn. Okay, so let's talk about our moon. If you look at the picture on your screen today, and this again, you can find all of these on NASA's website itself, and I've put a link in the description. You'll have to search around there. The moon has our moon, the Earth's moon, has two very different faces. One that is facing towards the Earth and one that is facing away from the Earth, and they're very different. Well, why is that? One of the theories that's put forward by NASA themselves is that this is because there was a merging, and this is now the picture you have on your screen. This is also an artist's rendering of a theory put forward by NASA scientists, that there was a merging of two moons into one, in our moon, of the Earth's moon. So what does this tell you? That no doubt it is very possible that our moon has been merged back together. And one of the evidences that you can find for this, as you will see in the picture now, are these ridges, which are called rima. Rima meaning grooves, right? And there is the Rima Artedias, which is 300 kilometers. In fact, all across the moon, in different places, you will find these cracks. Well, what causes them? There are many theories. One of them being that, as we mentioned before, that the two moons that collided caused these ridges. One of them being their volcanic tunnels and so on. I'm not claiming that NASA knows the answer, but they have taken these pictures and put forward these theories as well. So, how can we be sure How did the moon ever split and come back together? Well, I mean, the only way we could really know is if we had eyewitness accounts. Wouldn't that be amazing if we actually had eyewitness accounts? Well, we do. We do have eyewitness accounts. Let me begin with those. There is, during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, there is an event that happened where the people of Mecca, the non-believers of Mecca, challenged the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and said, if you're a true prophet, split this moon, split it in two and bring it back together. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told them that if I do this, will you believe? They said yes. He said, okay. And he prayed to God, to the Creator, to Allah. And Allah split the moon. And eyewitnesses saw this. And I know this is an amazing, extraordinary event. That's why we call it a miracle. And it came back together the same night. Now, a skeptic would ask, okay, well, who saw this? Obviously the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But you could say, well, he's the one that's performing this, so, who else saw it? Well, we have in historic documentation, in a book called Sahih al-Bukhari, we have the narration from Ibn Mas'ud. Ibn Mas'ud is one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And in the narration that is on your screen now, he reports this to have occurred as well. Now, you could say, okay, well, who's Ibn Mas'ud? Ibn Mas'ud, we know exact details about this eyewitness. What was his name? His name was Abdullah. What was his father's name? His father's name was Mas'ud. What was his mother known as? Abd. Did he have siblings? Yes. For example, he had a brother named Utbah. Okay, was he married? Yes. His wife was named Zainab. Did he have children? Yes. We know all of those details. We know who his son was, we know who his father was, we know he was born in 594, we know that he died in 653. So this person who was an eyewitness, and his credibility, his abilities, his history is well known. Okay, but who did he tell this event to? Well, as you can see on your screen, he told it to Abu Ma'mar. Well, who's Abu Ma'mar? His name is Abdullah. Well, who's his father? His father is a man named Sakhbara. Well, who did he tell it to? He told it to a man named Ibrahim al-Nakhai. Ibrahim, who is Ibrahim al-Nakhai? He is the son, his name is Ibrahim, his father's name is Yazid. Well, who's his grandfather? His grandfather's name is Qais. Well, who did he tell it to? He told it to Suleiman. Well, who is Suleiman? Suleiman ibn Mahran al-A'mash. So you see, the entire community that heard this event, the chain of narrators are all well known to us. All the way to Imam Bukhari and At-Tirmidhi and other historians that wrote down this event. Not only do we know who those narrators are, we even know how reliable were they in their memorization, how trustworthy were they. We have their entire biography. Okay. Now, already we have more eyewitness accounts than for the hanging gardens of Babylon or the lighthouse of Alexandria, meaning that we actually know the person, we know their history, who physically saw it. So you could say that if such an extraordinary event happened, why is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud the only witness? Well, he's not. We have more eyewitnesses. Who are they? Let's name more. Jubair ibn Mut'im. Well, who was Jubair ibn Mut'im? He was somebody who was a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but he became a Muslim in 628 at the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So that would mean that before the migration of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, from Mecca to Medina, which was around 622, he was a non-Muslim. So he was from Mecca, and as a non-Muslim, he witnessed this account, and he has an eyewitness account that is on your screen. Imam Ahmad in his Musnad, Imam Tirmidhi in his Jami', authentic narration, where he also says that I witnessed it, I saw that during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the moon split and came back together. So now you have another witness, and we have the same details about him and everybody that he reported to. Who was his father? It was Mut'im ibn Adi. Who did he have a son? Yes, one of his sons was Nafi' ibn Jubair. When did he die? 679. So with all of that clear detail, we have another eyewitness. First, that Abdullah ibn Masud, who was a Muslim already, and the other, Jubair, who was not a Muslim at that time, that later accepted Islam.
In conclusion, the splitting of the moon is a miraculous event that has been mentioned in the Quran and witnessed by many people during the time of Prophet Muhammad. It has both scientific and spiritual aspects that continue to fascinate people today. Whether it was a meteorite impact or a lunar eclipse, the event remains a powerful symbol of Allah's power and a reminder of the truth of Islam. We hope this video has helped you understand the significance of this amazing event. Thank you for watching our videos on the Muslim Playlist channel. We are glad that you find our content informative and engaging. We kindly request you to consider subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you will be notified whenever we upload new content, and you will be helping us grow our community of like-minded individuals. Your subscription is important to us, as it lets us know that we are providing valuable content that is worth your time. It also helps us reach a wider audience, which allows us to continue creating new and exciting content for you to enjoy. Please click the subscribe button and join our community of subscribers today. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more great content in the future. Thank you for your consideration. Best regards, the Muslim Playlist team.